So in the latest news with this lost submersible, we now know this, that the Titanic has tragically caused more than 1,500 deaths when it first set sail in 1914. Now, more than 100 years later, the Titanic still continues to take lives. So if we didn't come to the conclusion that the ship was cursed in 1914, I think we can all agree on that conclusion now, right, guys, that this thing's cursed. Now, the Titanic is like a cursed entity that keeps killing every 100 years or so. I think it's pretty safe to say that the Titanic is a wanted serial killer at this point. Now, if you sailed to the Titanic, you might have died. And 100 years ago, you might have died if you sailed. But now, if you even dare to view the ship in a submersible on the way to seeing the Titanic, guess what? You might die. Now, I want to say, my prayers go out to the victims and their families by any means necessary. Any means. This is a tragedy. This is tragic news, and it is heartbreaking news for any family to find out that their loved ones were murdered. Oh, I'm sorry, not murdered. Were killed in an accident, okay? That is tragic, okay? And I just want to say that and make that clear. However, being in a submersible is not an activity that you would ever see me take part of. Listen, I don't like submersibles. I don't like submarines. I don't like subway train stations. I don't like subway restaurants. I don't like submission moves. Unless, of course, they're performed on Monday Night Raw by, legends like Ric Flair. Woo! Anyways, I don't have $250,000 to spend on a ticket, right, guys? I don't have that kind of money. Let's just be for real. But if I did have $250,000 to spend, I would not be taking a trip on one of these death machines. I wouldn't be going to the bottom of the ocean to see a boat that they didn't let black people board on 100 years ago. This was a racist boat. I mean, this boat was ingrained in racism. Now, if I had a time machine, I would warn all the white people boarding the boat that something terrible is going to happen to them if they set sail. Something terrible. So please don't get on the boat. Something terrible is going to happen. But then again, they would probably tell me if I don't move my ass out the way from them boarding this ship, then something terrible is going to happen to my black ass. And listen, I probably just mind my business. But I'm going to say this about this boat. This boat had intentions of harming the rich white people from 1914 all the way to 2023. So this ship pretty much hated black and white people. So I'm sure it hated Mexicans, and it was probably a trans and gay-phobic ship as well. So this ship is just pretty much a piece of crap. You know what I'm saying? Let's leave it at that. But this leads me to ask this question, guys. And this is a very important question now. Why are people so obsessed with the Titanic? Why are people so obsessed? We have these lovely Norwegian cruise line ships now. We have the Carnival cruise line ships now. And these ships have wonderful features like water slides, nightclubs, and restaurants now. Hell, they even have daycares and shit. So you can get drunk and not feel guilty that strangers are watching and entertaining your kids all day. And guys, from time to time, you might want to check on your kids from time to time because, R. Kelly was also an entertainer. Just saying. But anyways, the Titanic was a puny ship compared to the mega cruise line ships we have in 2023. Have you ever just looked at a picture of the Titanic and compared it to a modern day cruise ship? I mean, that thing was puny, yet Americans are so obsessed with checking out this puny crashed ship. It just doesn't make sense to me. I can't fathom why people care so much. So we really need to lay this whole Titanic boat to rest, right? We had a great movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio, and it sold millions of dollars, right? I used to have this VHS tape. Y'all remember the VHS tapes? I had the VCR, all that, right? Because you needed that to use a VHS tape, right? But after the movie hit theaters, we should have just left the concept of the Titanic as a movie based on true events and not an underwater museum that if you're rich, that you can just go visit one day. We should have just left it as a great movie because it was a great movie. I enjoyed it. The Kiss Rose and all that romance stuff, man. I love that stuff, man. My takeaway from this whole situation is this, guys. Listen. Humans should stay far away from being underwater because it is not our natural habitat. There's no air for us there. Sharks don't know if we are seals or not. And most likely, if they see us, they're going to bite our ass. And it's like, listen, I don't need to be near sharks, and I don't need to be near Titanic ships that are already sunken. If there's a way you can throw away 250 grand, it is definitely on a submersible going to see the Titanic. And I'm sad to say that we now know that submersibles are not the safest way to travel in the ocean. And we should know now that the safest way to travel on the ocean is probably floating on the water and not going underneath the water to see an underwater boat that it was racist. When we all come to an agreement here, guys, let's just all like say here, we're gonna put our head down and pray, Lord, please give us the strength to never go down there and ever view the Titanic again. Let's leave the Titanic as a great movie. Let's leave it as American history. And let's leave it at the tragedy that it is. But let's leave it to rest. Let's not explore it no more. And let's just continue to live life and probably go on a cruise ship, a Norwegian cruise line. And let's just live life there on the boats that are of today and start thinking about the boats of yesterday. Now, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up and make sure you smash the bell because the bell is going to notify you when I drop. And if you just subscribe, man, I mean, it's just like saying, oh, your channel's cool. But when you hit the bell, it's like, hey, I actually want to, see some more videos in the future from you. So I'd appreciate that if you hit the bell. And guys, if you did enjoy this video, leave me a comment and let me know your comments down below when it comes to this, submersible. Like I said, it's sad, but it's just the reality of the situation is tough.